Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the Fit IT Guy. Today I'm going to be installing the Tesery 8.8-inch CarPlay and Android Auto dash display for your steering wheel on the new 2026 Tesla Model Y Juniper. Let's go ahead and get started, and you'll see how quick and easy of an install this will be. Here's the screen here. It does come with an optional front bumper camera. Since I'm driving the Model Y Juniper, we don't need this because the Juniper already has a front bumper camera. However, if you're installing this into the Model 3 Highland, the original Model Y, original Model 3, the S or the X, you do have the option of installing the front bumper camera if you'd like to. Just adds a couple more steps to the install, but it's a great feature because then you'll be able to see your front bumper camera from the dash screen here. All right, first things first, we're gonna pop off this panel here with just our fingers. So you wanna take off this rubber gasket here, pull it to the side, and then you can kind of just slide your fingers here and do this. And this all comes off now in one piece. On the previous Model Y, this was a two-piece design here. So you can kind of just pull this off like so, and just gently pull out the clips. Next, we have a clip here that I'll show you. So next we have this clip right here. I'm just gonna pop it off with the trim tool, and we can pull this out. There we go. And now we can start to pull this piece out a little bit, but I'm actually gonna unclip it from here first. And you can kind of just pull up on this like so. If you want, you can use the trim tool, but this is plenty easy enough to do by hand. And you can see how easy it is coming out. I'm doing this with one hand right now. And we can also pull out this piece too underneath. This kind of just comes down like that. Find a good spot to get this trim tool in. Try to come around here and undo some of these clips. There we go. Just keep coming around. We're mainly trying to get back here. There's a little bit of a gap there that goes from the passenger side to the driver's side. So we can try to fish the wire down here. Let me actually take the floor mat out, give us some more room to work here. Now we can really pull this carpet piece out. Probably don't even have to pull it out all the way, but let's get out some more of these clips just so that I can show you on video what you need to do next. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to show you down here. There's this little gap here. This goes from the carpet on the passenger side through to the driver's side. So we're going to go ahead and fish our harness cable through there before we plug it in into the connector. All right, so even though this might be super easy to fish to the other side, just so that I'm not throwing the wire into the abyss in there, I'm just gonna go ahead and take it and wrap it around this coat hanger that I straightened out. Now I can take this and fish it through to the other side, and hopefully it'll come out on the driver's side. One thing I will say is I need to go on the other side and push out the carpet there. So let's do that now. All right, so I basically did the same steps here. We just have this plastic piece though that is kind of stopping us from pulling it all the way out. But we do see our wire with a very simple push came out over here. So that is awesome. And we can go ahead and start to pull this over to this side. Okay, I barely even had to pull. It was so simple. Probably the easiest fishing job I've ever done in this car. Even easier than the way that was shown in the original install video on Tesery's website. So I'm just gonna undo the electrical tape here, just like so. And I'm kind of gonna push this wire hanger back just because it's not fully straight. Let me undo this tape as well. Yeah, so I'll push this wire hanger back and we can just kind of pull this wire up. and I'll show you what we're gonna do with this later to get it through here. So next thing we have to do is take this wire, and we're gonna have to get it through here. So I'll show you this step next. All right, so I closed up this carpet now. I pulled the wire out, and I got the wire routed right around the back of the carpet there, as you can see. All right, so we're also gonna take off the top portion of the wheel here, which is this piece. So we'll get a trim tool in on each side, and we'll pull that off with the trim tool, and that'll kind of give us some more room to see exactly how we're gonna get the wire through here. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the steering wheel out as much as we can. Perfect. And let's take our trim tool and get started. Okay, that's one. Should be another clip on this side. There we go. And we'll do the same on the other side. Okay, and once you have the clips off, this kind of just comes right out like this. And we can pull that off. We see there's actually a kind of a little thing here attached to it, so it doesn't fall. But this kind of opens up some more space for us here too. So we're just going to take this piece out from there. This is kind of just holding it on, and we'll put on the new piece that we have here that the dash screen mounts to. Okay, so here's our cable coming from there. I discovered that you can slightly pull that down so we can sneak the cable through there, and these clips do come out for this panel. However, they're extremely hard to pull out, so you really have to use your trim tool hard to get it out, but just be careful. So now I'm going to try to fish the wire from down there into here, which will come straight there and then into this part here. And there is a clip down there. It just clicked as I went to show it to you, but you can pull from the bottom and this clip will come out and you can easily fish the wire. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so I got the wire through here. So we have the included screws and screwdriver. If you need the screwdriver, I'm going to be using my own. Here is the top of the wheel mount, and we have the dash here as well. These wires will just go in through the two holes. So the right hole will have these two wires, the left hole will have this one. The yellow wire is for the front camera, which since we have the Model Y Juniper, we won't be installing in the front bumper camera since we have one already. So I'm just going to put these wires in anyway, and once the wires are in, we can kind of just pull them through nicely, making sure everything stays aligned, and drop the dash flush with the mount here. Okay, so the dash is flush on the mount now, so we can go ahead and take the two screws and we'll screw them in and tighten those up fully. So now we can go ahead and plug in these wires here into the dash screen, and then we'll clip the bottom of the dash mount back onto the top of the wheel here. Okay, so basically we have this big part of the wire here, which we can kind of just hide behind now at this point, like so, and we'll hide that wire fully. And I have everything plugged in here, and basically the wires will go back there through the dashboard right underneath the top piece of the wheel here. So I'm just going to go ahead and basically clip it over. As you can see here, there's just these two black cables. They stand out more in the video than they do in person. You don't see them at all from the front or the side, only when you really look at it from the top, which you're never going to really have your head back here. And now I'm just going to push this wire back behind the dash, and I can clip in this clip here once I get the cable out of the way. And there we go. Cables are now hidden. Perfect. And plug in the connector back on the passenger side of the car, and we'll watch this dash turn on. All right, I'm back on the passenger side here. Basically, this part just clips right out from the carpet. I routed the cable right over there. and I brought it over to this side right under the carpet. So it's really just enough length to get over to the right side. So you really have to make sure you cable manage this efficiently, so that you're not wasting any cable space. But basically this will just clip in right here like that. And you have the other side of it in case you want to put in any other modifications that will use the AMD connection here. And this here will go there. This is most likely the power. So actually, before we do that, we're going to go to safety, power off the car. All right, now that it's powered off, we're gonna touch this power connection here. We're gonna plug this in, and then we'll plug this in here. And voila, let's go over to the other side to take a look at the dash screen. Okay, the dash screen is in. Here's how it looks with the yoke. Absolutely beautiful. I'll press on the brake here to bring the wheel in the position that I usually drive in, and we can see a ton of info. So we'll just go to the settings. I believe we have to swipe from the right here. Settings. Okay, it's in Chinese, but if you do get it, just go to the settings right here and then click on this one and go to English. There we go. So you can enable steering wheel control, which means you can control from here. So if we push up, we get our CarPlay connection. There we go. Let's go back to the settings here. And by the way, I'm just going to show the dash, but all we'll do at this point after this is clean the passenger side back up, push everything back in. I'll show you how that looks after to show you that there's no wires showing at all. But anyway, focusing back on the dash, go back to settings again. Time 24 hours. I'll turn this off because we don't have the camera on. So tire pressure we'll have in PSI. Let's go to display settings. Car color. Our car color is red. It's not flaming red, but it's red. It's ultra red. Brightness is auto. Appearance auto. So this is what it'll look like at night. If I put it in night mode, it'll always stay black. I kind of like the look actually, but let's set it on auto so that you guys can see in the video how it looks day and night. Rainbow Road, I hate that thing. I'll turn it off. You guys can leave it on if you want. Imperial or metric, we are Imperial. Wireless for CarPlay, and we have software here. They do have instructions on their website on how to do the update. Okay, so let's connect to, oh, we can actually connect to Wi-Fi here. And I'm just gonna set up my phone hotspot. Okay, so I just turned on my hotspot. I'm gonna turn this Wi-Fi on. It says waiting, opened. Okay, here's my phone. And it wants me to put in the password, so I'll do that now. Nice, it has a little keyboard here. Okay, I'm gonna connect now. All right, so it shows connected now. So let's X out of that. And let's try this software update, see if there's anything. Okay, it says there's no new update. So this dash came with the latest software already, which is great. So it's good that we can see that there's no software update available for this, because that just means that they sent us this dash with the latest software. So now let's go back. Wireless, we can do CarPlay. Now mind you, the hotspot was only to check for updates. You don't need to hotspot otherwise. So CarPlay, I'm gonna go on my phone. See here, I'm going to search for that Bluetooth. So BT Link 75E5. And let's see here. BT Link 75E5. Once it connects, which it looks like it connected, let's take a look back at the dash. We can actually see we immediately got a connect to CarPlay message. Okay, there we go. Awesome, we have everything here. Go to maps. I can click some random destination. Let's say this, one of my favorite Turkish restaurants. Extreme heat warning. 1 hour and 1 minute to get to Brooklyn from here. And there we go, there's CarPlay. And you have your music here too, which is great. All right, everyone, so I figured we'd have FSD take us home. Auto shift beta worked. I'm in drive. So I'm going to turn on FSD here, and let me actually set FSD to start from parked. And I'm going to switch between CarPlay and the normal driving screen, just so that you can see the difference. So I have the direction set elsewhere for CarPlay. Obviously, I don't want to give my address away. FSD is set to go where it's supposed to. So setting FSD, and we can see our turn signal. Okay, so when you're in FSD, you can't actually switch up from the screen unless you click back here. Okay, so our tire pressure is showing up now, which is great. I should fill them up to 44. I think that's a good recommendation for the most range. So FSD is on, doing its thing, and let's see what happens here. And here's how the dash looks. So I'll just set the camera back a little bit further so you can kind of feel like you're the one driving on the screen. And this is what, yeah, this is basically what the dash looks like. Pretty cool. And I'm in FSD, of course, so what I'm going to do is click back over there on the screen, switch back to CarPlay, and you can see what CarPlay looks like. It's funny because the person I installed this for on their first gen Model 3 mentioned this, but even though the screen is technically small, it's an 8.8-inch screen, especially if you have the normal steering wheel, it is in the perfect position where it doesn't get in the way, or the steering wheel doesn't get in the way of the screen at all. It's perfectly visible, and it's a comfortable enough size to where it's not too big and in the way, but you can kind of just look at it while you're driving, and it won't distract you from the road, which is great. So FSD is doing its thing. And yeah, CarPlay it is. CarPlay is great for those of you that like CarPlay. I don't. My girlfriend does. My girlfriend loves CarPlay. I used to like CarPlay until I got Tesla navigation and found how superior it is, especially for this area, in New York City area. And again, this is wireless CarPlay. It's only using Bluetooth on my phone. My phone is down there charging. I will be getting a MagBack phone mount on here soon, so I'll have my phone up there. But the dash is perfect. When I told my girlfriend that the CarPlay actually shows on the dash, she found that amazing, because she always, on my previous Model Y, would have the phone mount here and using Google Maps on her phone, or Apple Maps. For her, you know, she wanted to really focus on the road, so using the maps on the screen here, she felt like she had to look too far away from the road, which I don't have that issue, but some people do, or some people might. She does. She loves the fact that CarPlay is on the dash screen itself. That way she can focus on the road and look at the maps just by glancing down slightly. So that's a huge benefit for those of you that are looking for this dash screen. What's cool too is the blind spot monitoring actually shows up on the screen. I just saw it pop up there when I was driving. Now that I'm stopped, it's not showing it, but I'm sure you saw that in the video. It lit up a little bit of like a orange or yellow color. And we have our speed limit there also. So if I go back, this always shows you the speed limit. So again, the same way that the Tesla maps show you the speed limit there, it shows you the speed limit here, so that you always know where you're going. There's the blind spot detection. We see that it's lit up orange on the left. And yeah, this is a pretty great dash screen from Tesery. You can use my code TFIG to save 5% off on Tesery. And again, guys, if you have the normal steering wheel, which most of you will, this screen is not obscured in any way by the normal steering wheel. It's really the perfect size and perfect location to where you can see it perfectly, even with the normal steering wheel. It's going to go right over the screen. Like I said, I just installed one of these on a Model 3 a couple days ago, the normal steering wheel, and it looked amazing. I love having my tire pressure here as well. That way, you know, if you run over something and you're losing air before the system will even notify you, you'll see that you're dropping some air pressure. And also you can just monitor your tire temperatures too, which is always good if you're going on the track or anything. Who knows? So thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this installation video and review. It's a pretty great screen again. I always love having dash screens on Teslas. I think we're just used to having it in normal cars, so it only makes sense to have it in your Tesla too. I had one in my last Tesla. There's all different shapes and kinds. You can check them out on Tesery.com. They have a few different screens there. The first gen Model 3 or Y, if you have a Highland Model 3, Juniper Model Y, even if you have an S, X, or Cybertruck, they have all different sorts of parts and accessories there for you guys to check out. You can use my code TFIG to save on Tesery.com. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Really upping the content here. Basically trying to post a video every other day for the next few weeks since I just got this car now, and I have a lot of products to install and review. So stay tuned for the next video and catch you next time.